In 2 Chronicles chapter 20 in the scripture, there's a really interesting story. It takes place during a time when a man named Jehoshaphat was the king of God's people. And one day, some of Jehoshaphat's messengers came to him with an absolutely terrible message. They told him that a massive army was on the march against him and would arrive in just a day or two. Now, what do you think that you might do if you were the king and you got that message? Well, for one thing, we might panic, but we probably also immediately sound the alarm, call our generals together to make a battle plan and have the troops and the people get ready for war. But I want you to listen to what Jehoshaphat and the people did. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verses 3 and 4. It says, "Alarmed, Jehoshaphat resolved to inquire of the Lord, and he proclaimed a fast for all of Judah. The people of Judah came together to seek help from the Lord. Indeed, from every town in Judah, they came to seek him." So instead of panicking or jumping right into action, amazingly, although it says that he was alarmed, Jehoshaphat and the people immediately turned to God to seek his guidance and his help. Now, really, this shouldn't be amazing to us because what they did was exactly what we're supposed to do as people of faith. But in truth, it is kind of amazing to us because we know how often we fail to do this. So often when a decision needs to be made or there's a problem or situation that needs to be handled, we just panic, or instead we jump right in without seeking God's guidance or help and try to handle things all on our own. Now, if you read on a little farther in this story, you find that God provided a very special word of help and guidance to Jehoshaphat and the people. And if we seek God's help and guidance, sometimes God will do that for us too. He may speak to us. He may speak to us through someone else or in some other way, just make it clear to us what we should do. But not all the time. God doesn't always give us that kind of special guidance. And in those times, what we need to do is rely on God's wisdom. We need to think about, we need to look to what we know of God from the scripture, from the example of Jesus, and from our relationship with him. Because the truth is that a lot of the guidance that we need, God has already given. And a lot of the answers to questions we have already been given in the scripture. And in many cases, this is God's plan for how he will help and guide us. And we can ask questions like, well, what does the scripture say about this question or situation? What would Jesus do in this situation in order to try to flush out that wisdom? And you know, we may not always get it exactly right, but I absolutely believe that if we are faithful and we trust God, most of the time we will get it right. But whatever way that God chooses to guide us and to help us, first of all, we need to be people who are seeking that guidance, who are seeking that help, not just panicking and not just jumping into things without seeking after God. So what decision might there be that needs to be made in your life? What a situation might there be that needs to be dealt with in your life right now about which you really should be seeking God's guidance and God's help? Let's go do that.